Hello guys, Beth Malcolm here. Kumusta? And I know it's been a while. I have not posted any videos, but as you can see, I have been pretty much responding to all your inquiries, to all your comments on my videos. Thank you so much for watching, by the way. And of course, hello to our dear employers in Canada. How are you guys doing? So I made this video intended for all the employers across Canada, especially to those who are actually looking for home care providers. So if you are looking to hire nannies or elderly caregivers, and I'm pretty sure you do need some tips. So I basically have four tips for you guys. Okay, because I know I get calls and from my employers, they're asking like when, how to start, right? So basically, guys, so if you are looking for caregivers for your parents, for elderly and nannies for your kids, right? So tip number one, you should start working on the steps in processing the LMIA application. So if you have been struggling to find Canadian or permanent residence applicants locally, right, since we need to find Canadians or permanent residents first before trying to hire someone who are not Canadians or who are basically temporary residents. So you should start exploring what's out there for you, because there are actually a lot of workers out there in the field who may be available for the position. And who are they? So these are basically the international students, visitors, temporary foreign workers who are currently residing in Canada. And this group of people are actually looking for employers for sponsorships, right? So that's tip number one. Okay. So tip number two. So what is an LMIA? Since I mentioned on my number one about LMIA. So for those of you who doesn't know yet, so LMIA stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment. So all employers who wish to hire temporary foreign workers who are non-Canadians or permanent residents of Canada must submit an LMIA application to ESDC. So ESDC stands for Employment and Social Development Canada, or to Service Canada. So you're basically trying to get a positive opinion from Service Canada that there's actually an urgent need for you in hiring the temporary foreign worker, right? And because of the processing times from the initial setup of the employer job postings, LMIA application down to the temporary foreign workers work permit, you're most likely looking about 2 to 3 months of LMIA application, not including the processing times of your temporary foreign workers work permit that you're going to hire. So, tip number three, you need to apply for an unnamed LMIA. What is unnamed LMIA? So, basically, you're trying to apply an application if you cannot identify or you have not found the applicant yet. So, you apply for this unnamed LMIA, right? So, how it works, because there is a big shortage of labor in Canada, especially in the field of caregiver, you can't find the person that you're looking for. So, what you do for you to have an advantage over the other employers or other families who are also looking and trying, to hire caregivers is that you apply in advance the so-called unnamed LMIA. So you apply an application, an LMIA. Basically, there's no name because you have not found the the person yet, but for you to at least cut your timeline short, right? And you do this, right? It's faster. You know why? Why do we need this? It's because if you have this positive LMIA, it will also attract those workers or temporary residents who are already in Canada. Obviously, if you have this positive LMIA, applicants will first consider your job offer compared to those that does not have. Why? Another why. Why? Because these applicants, if they accept your offer, they can immediately apply for their work permit, and that would make them happy, because they want, of course, they obviously want to get their work permit status done on time, and others, they're actually temporary residents in Canada who might lose their status early. So that's why those are the people that we want to attract, especially if they're all eligible, right? Only if they're eligible of what you're looking for. So that's it. That's tip number 3. You apply for an unnamed LMIA, will shorten at least your time in the process of getting the person work for you, right? And number 4, so if you're not familiar to do all this work, or you do not have the time, to do the work, then you find an agency that can help you with the steps. It may sound complicated, but it is actually not, right? So my dear employers, do not waste time. Okay, so, well, that's all for now. And thank you for watching. Maybe on my next video, I will probably be posting another videos for employers, because there's a lot to give tips to those who are actually not familiar through this process. So thank you, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. God bless everyone, and see you on my next video.